Yeah, we are live.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to another video organized by Anajuri. Anajuri is a non-profit platform from Assam, and during the course of the last few months, we have been engaging through virtual media and inviting speakers engaged in various fields to create a network amongst people working in the Northeast. So today we have with us an amazing personality whose goal is to spread awareness among children to rescue and care for animals. She is the founder of an organization called the Akshar Foundation, and she is the recipient of a prestigious Devi Award. Please welcome Parmita Sarma.
Thank you for having me.
Before I start, I mean, there are a lot of questions I have.
Nice.
So, I'll just like to start with how did you get into this?
The whole school?
Yeah.
So, we wanted to come up with an idea that can actually help people get out of poverty. There are many incentives that people are taking, but it's never a holistic approach. So when we first started working, in Pamohi area, we saw all the issues that people face. And then we realized that we have to have a holistic approach to actually solve the problem. So at first we started with education. Then with education, we saw the issues of child labor, like students had to go out to work, they had no option. So we devised a method where we pay older students to teach younger ones. And then those older kids, they can continue at school because they are getting the money that they need from school. So that is how we started paying the kids. And the animal shelter also is a part of the vocational training that we provide kids. So we have one school in Pamohi area where we have 110 students. And then when we realized the child labor problem, we figured out that maybe we can pay the older kid to teach the younger one. Now, what happens when you do that is that the younger kid, they get like individual attention, and the older kid, they get experience, they get, self-confidence because they get the respect from the younger student and also get money. So, so that incentivizes them to stay in school and they learn more to earn more. So at our school, we have like a very fluid system where kids can go from one grade to the next, depending on his or her capacity. Like the whole class doesn't move forward. So, so it's like a different kind of a school. So along with that, we realize that we have to teach these kids skills at school because once they are 18, they have to start earning. Kids were already, they already had to start earning when they were like 12 years old. So when they're 18, it's absolutely not an option. So because of that, we decided to introduce different kinds of vocational training that the kids could learn at school after school hours. We should keep them in school, and at the same time, they would have that when they are ready to go and work outside, they have some skills necessary to, sustain a livelihood. So one of the vocational training is the animal shelter. So we started doing that from like around 2018 onwards. And we actually started doing that because we got 2 puppies at our school. And with those 2 puppies, we thought that the kids, so that's the thing. When we first got the 2 puppies in, there were some kids who were like very playful with the puppies. They would want to come and hang out with them. And there were some kids who were very scared of them. Because even when they were puppies, like they were tiny, adorable puppies, but there were so many kids who were scared of them. Why? Because they have had many unpleasant experiences, with like stray dogs. So the general tendency of the students was to be mean to the dogs. Like when they think that the teacher is not looking, they would like, try to kick the puppy or, like not give food or harass the puppy in ways. So when we started noticing that, okay, first of all, when I mentioned that we pay our kids to teach younger kids, the kids also get fined when they, misbehave in school. So because of that, when we saw that the kids were, any kid who was like mean to a dog, we would take money from them. So that made them stop the behavior immediately. And then we saw that, so for vocational training, we realized that this is like a very important skill that they can learn while they're dealing with the animals. At the same time, they also learn compassion because at first the kids, they would try to, emulate us. So when they see that, okay, the teachers are being really nice with the puppies, maybe we should be nice with the puppies just so as to impress us. But that was good enough, because that at least got the kids thinking in a different way. And then once they started familiarizing with the puppies, like they just fell in love with them. And we saw that, maybe this is a way that we can teach our students how to, help the animals in the area or animals in need, because kids can be molded, like it's
Yeah.
difficult to mold older people, but like young children, they can be molded. So we thought that this is like one issue that we can work on. Like our school is also kind of like a community center where we try to address the different issues that the community faces. And stray dogs is a common problem in, of course, it's everywhere. We all know that.
Yeah.
So we thought that, yeah, this is a community issue that we can handle at school, where we will take in all the all the puppies, and then we will give them for adoption. And then in the meantime, if there is an animal hurt in the area, maybe the kids can take care of them. Now for vocational training, we also have nursing vocation that we want to teach the students. So the kids who are interested in, say, the medical line, they are supposed to be doing the dressing of the puppies. They're supposed to be giving them the medication. So along with taking care of the puppies, they also get that training, to know the different kinds of things that they can do with them, which also gives them the skill. So that is what we first started doing. Then one of the two puppies that we got at school, they became old, and one of them got pregnant. And then we had like a lot of puppies. We had like 6 puppies, and we didn't know what to do. I had like a lot of puppies at my home because my home dog also got pregnant, and we had like about 15 puppies that we had no idea what to do. That's when we
Amazing.
started thinking that, maybe we can get people to adopt the puppies.
Mhm.
So that's when we started it. Okay, and the kids, they really love the puppies. They came in early to the school just to play with them. They would stay later. They would request to stay at school for later so that they could be with them. Like if we needed someone to take care of the puppy, if you asked the kids who wants to go, half the kids would raise their hands. So we saw that, this was a good way to inculcate the passion in them, also the compassion in them, so that, they care about them. At the same time, we can also maybe handle this problem, because our idea is that if you want to deal with any issue, you can't be just addressing that issue. Like, say, for example, animal abuse. Now, why do we have animal abuse in the society? Why do people mistreat something that is not doing any harm to them? Now, there are many layers to that. Like, we don't treat people well, in our society. So when we don't treat our fellow human beings well, how can we expect people to behave well with animals? Now,
Absolutely.
if we really want to, remove the problem of animal abuse, we have to improve our society first. And that's what we realized when we started working, because in the beginning, we only wanted to do just education. But then we realized that we have to address every issue, including the environment and the animal shelter, and different kinds of issues that we face, like menstrual hygiene, because nothing is single. Like if you suppose just solve like one issue, suppose you take care of the menstrual hygiene part for students, and then what? They have so many issues at home. They have physical abuse, So it's not possible to handle everything. And that's why we decided that we have to have a holistic approach. So, so animal abuse, we are thinking that we can get them to actually stop doing that when, first of all, the people have respect, that, for each other, we have to treat our fellow human beings better. And then we can expect them, at least then we can expect that they will take better care of the younger ones. Like just an example at our school. So one of the kids, he was very mean to the puppies that we had at school. And he always used to kill like different animals, like lizards, like small animals, frogs, and he was like a harmless kid. But when he sees like an insect or like something that's moving, like small thing that's moving, his instant desire is to kill that thing. And at first we find him at school because, that's not acceptable. But then we try to understand why he does that. Why is he, always out there to hurt animals? And then we realize that this is because that's how everyone else treats him. His students, his friends were not treating him well. At home, he wasn't treated well. So when you have a lot of anger issues, when you have a lot of, personal problems, what do? You take it out on someone who you think is beneath you. So
Mhm.
that is why we probably have such a rampant problem of animal abuse. And we are hoping that we can tackle all the different issues by developing our schools. So we have one school in Guwahati, and we are working in a government school in Delhi. And now our idea is to get into government schools and then set up like different trainings for the students, so that from a young age, they can start learning the different aspects of the society and figure out ways to solve them. So if you want to, say, suppose help stray animals, now we can have an approach of just taking only the injured animals, or trying to, find homes for puppies. But for how many will you do that? There's just countless number of animals, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to think of way, like that's what we're trying to do, is we have to, like, we want to have a solution oriented approach. If we are trying to tackle something, we would like to actually put an end to it. And then how do we do that? By making the school into a community center. So if every government school has an animal shelter attached with it, where kids learn how to take care of animals, They take care of the puppies, they vaccinate them, and then they give them for adoption, do home checks, and take care of the injured animals in their area. And that's doable, and that we can scale up to like every state in India. And that is what we are aiming for. So our model school in Assam is just a little experiment that we are trying in this village, trying to see what all things we can do. And we are realizing that we can do so many more things, because schools can be much more than just a school. It's high time that we get out of the mentality that schools, you only come to school to study and memorize your things and then go and repeat that in exams. It's not like that anymore. We have to give practical skills to our kids. And the world is changing. The world is changing so fast. So if our kids are not equipped with the right kinds of skills, then they are going to struggle in future. So that's why we are building like a whole community, and then that community will take care of all the issues in the society, which includes taking care of dogs. So that's what we are trying to do now. Our students at school, they like dogs so much that they have adopted a lot of dogs. They don't have a lot of means, they don't, but they like dogs now, and they're warming up to the idea that, oh, the dog is a friendly animal. Because before, like the memories that they have is like, oh, I was chased by a dog. Like we had so many kids just terrified of dogs, but it's not like that anymore. Now, if you come to our school at any given day, you will see that the kids during tiffin time, the kids bring food for the dogs, especially for them, so that they could feed them. So we have seen how children have changed, their attitudes have changed. And this is what we are hoping that we can, cultivate in all the children, include it in the school curriculum, because this is a very necessary aspect, and we have to consider every being. Like Mahatma Gandhi was talking about, a society is known by how it treats its weakest member, and that's what they are. And they can change. They can be changed, definitely, when we instill better behavior in people. And that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to bring up a next generation that will have better behavior, and they in turn will take care of their own community, which is including sterilizing the dogs and feeding them. You don't need a lot of money to do that. You just need the will to do that. And of course, we are there to support them. So we are really hopeful that we will be able to do that. And so we are now looking into getting into government schools in Maharashtra. We are in the process of signing an MOU with them for 5 years for 2 schools. And the best part about that is that they are letting us open an animal shelter along with the school, which means that as soon as we have a school there, we will also set up a small animal shelter where we will have the kids, learning how to treat sick animals, learning how to, show their compassion to them, be warm. And another issue that we have in our village is that the people, I mean, again, we don't support meat eating at all, but people are still rearing pigs and they have cows, right? So they get sick and then they die because they can't provide any medical treatment. So that is what we are also hoping that our students can provide, that they can be self-sufficient for their own community, so that they can provide the basic first aid, at least, if not much, to the animals in the community, so that they can care about the health of every being in their area. And that's what we are aiming for now. We are hoping to get into all government schools. We are starting with MP because we are not able to get into government schools in Assam. But then we hope to have the animal shelter as a part of the curriculum, so that kids can learn about that from a young age. And yeah, we really hope that that comes through.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, so basically, what you're saying is that you want to inspire the compassion that we have inside. Uh, basically, we lack this compassion when we treat animals because we're not aware. Uh,
It's not just that, it's also because who are the people who are mistreating animals usually? If you look at the profile, it's either that they have been mistreated or they have some childhood trauma that they are trying to be. Like, people are not evil, like you become evil. And when you are just suppressed, like we have seen that in our school, when everyone is just like, treating you like garbage, then you have to take it out on something. That's why we have women abuse. That's why we have children abuse, because they take it out on the weakest links in the society. So we are hoping that if we can give the right values to the children at school, like in a holistic way, then they will themselves be motivated to take care of the animals. Like that's what we are hoping for.
So you're saying that in order to treat animals better, we have to treat our children and the people next to us better.
Exactly. Definitely.
So what are the day-to-day activities that these students are engaged in your school?
For the animal shelter or in general?
In general.
Well, the kids come to the school in the morning. We group the kids by their skills, not by their age. That means if you go to any classroom, you will see like a mixed age group. We don't have more than 7 students in a class, so we try to keep the group small so that we can pay individual attention to every child. And we have student teachers, like the oldest 20 kids of our school, they teach the younger students, which means that we can provide individual attention to the small groups of kids, of course under the supervision of an adult teacher. And the young kids, they learn better because they have like one person taking care of them, providing individual attention. And that goes on for about half an hour a day. We have match up every day where we pair one older kid with a younger one, and they teach them individually. The kids do math on Khan Academy, and we have small groups throughout the whole day. That means no one feels overwhelmed. Like, everyone can grow at their own pace. You go from class 5 to class 6, depending on your own skills, not when the whole class moves forward. So that gives the kids the freedom to learn things like they want. And just in case of, say, the animal shelter, when we bring in a puppy, what we do is we have young child, like a young student who we appoint. That kid has like 3-4 younger students with him, and then he will go and get the puppy inside and then treat the puppy, show the younger students how to do it, so that everyone learns. So we are trying to have like a pyramid kind of a scheme, like a model at our school, where we have like the senior teacher, 3 junior teachers, and the student teachers, and then the younger kids. So we have like a kind of an hierarchy, which works great for a school of 100 kids, because this way we are able to provide them quality education at par with any elite school that you compare to, and at a very low cost.
Absolutely. So you're also building teachers in a way.
Yes, exactly. And we are hoping that when these students, so in villages, girls get married early. You can't do anything about that. But if they have the right behavior, if they learn the right things, and they can bring up their children better, and then we can actually, eradicate poverty, hopefully, if not in this generation, in the next generation. Because the middle class kids, why do they do good in school? Okay, so they have good education at school, true, but they also have so much support at home. Their parents care about them, they take interest in their schoolwork. But what about these poor kids? Their parents couldn't care less about them. Like, you don't even want them to come to school. So how do they succeed in life? So that's what we're trying to provide. Then we have the older kids mentoring the younger ones. There's also that we are trying to replace the tuition style that you have outside, or middle class families can afford. That is provided by our students itself. And that helps the older kids stay in school as well, because they are earning money for that.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, you can share the photographs that you want to share.
Yes, if the screen share works. Oh, it's working. Great.
Yeah.
So this is these are 2 students who are treating this puppy. She's actually my home puppy now. I couldn't give her for adoption. It's too adorable.
Okay.
But so she had some skin infection, and they were treating that. And these are the puppies that we had at school, where we had all these students interested. And you see the 2 white shirt boys, they are taking care of this puppy. And then you have like this yellow shirt that you see behind, they are the younger kids who are observing. Now, here's the thing. When you are in a school of 100 kids, I mean, if you remember your school days, didn't you look up to your seniors in school?
Yes, yes, I do.
Right? So these younger students, when they see their seniors treating an animal so well, they copy that. That's what they want to become. And then, they become very friendly, or they're like, okay, next time, maybe you can let me take care of the puppy, and that's how they learn. So we are really hopeful that, we can actually change the mindset of this. For example, now in the lockdown period, our students are feeding the strays in the area. They're not going very far, just around their house, but they're doing that, and that makes a difference. So that's how you learn. You start with one step at a time. It might not be something big, but imagine every government school student doing that. Wouldn't that make a difference? If every government school has an animal shelter, where people, at least they take care of their community dogs, not beyond that, but just their community dogs, feed them, vaccinate them, sterilize them, and maybe we can eventually actually control the population. That's what we are hoping for, that we will be able to do.
Do you also, include these kids in rescues, or basically in rescues?
So we haven't been able to do any complicated rescue. We tried training them with another NGO, but these kids are not great in terms of, they need more training. We need proper equipment. We couldn't like put kids in danger in case they get bit or something like that. But that is the plan, definitely. And we are also trying to recruit older kids now, like 18 to 20-year-old kids. The problem with that is that we are not able to, we don't have enough money to pay them. Because if we can pay these kids about, say, 300 to 400 rupees per day, we'll have those 18 to 20-year-olds coming back to school because they want to come to school, but because they have to earn, they have no choice. So we are hoping that we can train that age group to do the rescues. That is our plan.
Yes. So,
Our teachers
what?
do rescue now. For now, our teachers are the only ones who are doing rescues, not students. But they take care of the dogs at school. Like our school dogs, our students feed them every day. So, and they care. The best part is they genuinely care. We have seen them change. Like the kid at our school who's staying in the hostel, the one who feeds the dogs, now he used to be terrified of dogs. And now he pets them, he feeds them. So we have seen kids completely transform, and we are hoping that we can replicate that in every school.
Okay. So, I mean, that is absolutely amazing. So, uh,
Hey, are you there?
Rishabh, are you there? Paramita,
Hey.
I
I'm
have a
sorry. Yeah,
question.
I'm back. Sorry. Yes, please, Melinda, go on. Please, please.
So, what kind of changes have you seen in your kids since you started this program? Like,
For education, right?
no. I mean, overall, the characteristics of your student. Like, no, after you started this program on animal care, what are the changes you are seeing in them?
They have developed a lot of compassion. And how do we know that? Because like if you speak with any kid, and like when kids they have any experience with a dog outside of the school, they come and tell us that, hey, today I saw this dog, I pet the dog, I gave them food, which was never the case before. And at our school we also teach them to care for the younger ones, which is also passing on to animals. So we have seen the kids, they have, again, our kids, they are like mentally very disturbed. Okay, they have abusive homes, they have a lot of issues, but now they find it in their heart to be good to animals, and it feels so good to see them be nice to animals. We had like a puppy that we had brought into school recently. It was pretty messed up, like had lots of wounds, and the kids were like, oh, I want to take, they were fighting to take care of the puppy. Now where do you see that? They also get paid. I should mention that when they're taking care of the puppy, when they're doing a dressing or something, we also pay them. So that also incentivizes them. But there are some kids, like the one picture that I showed you of the two girls, like, they would do it without, like, money is not the incentive. They genuinely seem to care about them. And that's what we are hoping to instill in every child. Like our entire staff at school, they are all animal lovers. So, so even when they go to the nearby shop, they feed the strays in the area. So kids learn by doing. You can't be telling to kids, hey, stop doing this, stop doing this. They won't. But if you're doing it yourself, kids will copy your behavior and they will change. And we have seen that. We have seen how kids make an effort to copy the teacher's behavior.
So, do you also join this with Earth, other program, like for example, drawing of a animal or stuff like that? You
We
have your
haven't done that yet, but yeah, maybe we should. That's a good idea. That maybe we should get them more into this program. So this is not very new. We just started that. Like it has been like a year and a half, but the school was closed for half of the time. But yeah, that's a good idea. We should definitely get them to do more things. We are honestly hoping that. Well, the idea is to focus in government schools, and that's what we are trying to do. So with the MP school, we will have an animal shelter attached with the government school. So that
so
is
MP school. One sec, I was not clear. So all the school are outside Assam or in Assam?
unfortunately, so we only have one school in Assam. We were trying to get into government schools here, but we are not able to get the permission. So the MP government, they saw one of our videos on TV and they called us. So we went to talk to Gwalior. We went in January of this year, and then they said that they will give us 2 government schools, and where
Okay.
they will let us group the kids according to how we want. That means we can group the kids by the skills, and they will let us have all vocational trainings, including animal shelter. Now that is our main goal, to get into
Sure.
government schools and then get all these programs in government schools, because that is the
Sure.
only way we can scale up. And we
So
are, yes, please.
So one thing, so since we are inviting all different groups now, like we have invited Indiramra's group and Nandini's group and stuff like that. Hopefully, we together can write an application, right? Eventually,
Oh, that would be
requesting
great.
that the government, because
That
we
would
would
be
Yes,
like,
yes.
yes,
I think
because
we can work with with the other groups like HSI. We are like we have planned to call Nayanika Batu, so we can like plan with her. they have been doing things like this, working with the government for many things, like for, like stopping the dog trade meat also. They did a good job there. It may take some time, but we can, if we do it together, it will be like, like it's 1 + 1 2 is better than only one. So I
Definitely.
think that will be a great help together, doing it together.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely. And we need to get vocational training into schools, because this child
yes,
labor problem, until and unless you solve that, you will not have people treating animals well, because we
sure.
treat them like garbage. So why should they treat, anything that's beneath them better? So it's like,
Sure.
if we really want to address the problem, we have to have a holistic approach, starting with the kids, then that extends to the animals.
That's a great idea, and that's why we are, doing this. So I'll reach out to you later on. If you
Please.
have a letter, that you have written, how could we make it as a petition, and make like 10,000 people sign it, right? And
That'll be
then
great.
also get all this organization in Guwahati, for example, animal welfare organization. Along with you, we'll get signature for all this organization.
That'll be
Let's
great.
push it together.
No,
So
that will be
that, then we like, that's why we're inviting you guys also to see what is all these NGOs who are working with animal,
I
what
know
is
we
their strength.
definitely need to collaborate. Like, definitely, we
Yeah,
can't do anything alone. Even
yeah,
when you're working in Delhi, we are working with another NGO that facilitate the whole process. So if we can work together,
yeah,
we can really sterilize all the dogs. Also, like, that's what we have been aiming for since a long time. But
yeah.
it's just not possible for one organization to do that. So
Sure.
that'll be great.
So one last question from my side is that, so like, I know that you are focusing more on education, but your name was suggested for animal welfare too. So at the animal welfare point of whatever you're doing, what I see is that your strength is basically you are educating about animal welfare to young child. Is that correct? Or is there any
Yes,
other thing that
and
you
not
wanted
just
to take
that,
it as?
but we will have an army of school children who will be going out to feed the dogs and sterilize them. Because at our school, we have only 110 kids, but from them, about 20 of them are active, which means in a school of 100 kids, if we have 20 kids who are going out and rescuing puppies and treating them and doing home visits, to check the puppies. If we are in 100 schools, we will literally have an army, which means that we will have, like, one organization, how much can they do, right? You can rescue 50 dogs in a month, maybe. How much more? But if you have like an army of children in every state, in every location, you can reach everyone that you want to. And that's what we are hoping for. We are also cultivating the behavior on the kids in a young age, so that when they reach that age, they will be ready to do that, and they are motivated to do that. Like our kids now, the 20 top kids at our school, the oldest kids, we don't have to force them to do anything related to animals. They do it because they love it. They've adopted their community dogs in their area. We didn't force them. We didn't tell them you have to go and do that. And why are they doing that? Because they actually genuinely, like dogs now. So I really think that it's possible that if we can get into, say, 100 schools, we'll have like an army of students sterilizing, or at least taking the dogs and taking care of the dogs after sterilization, so that we can actually bring about an impact.
So you're saying that your kids know how to do sterilization?
No. I mean, I'm taking
Oh,
care
okay.
of the dogs after sterilize. Like, you need a
Okay,
10-day
okay.
period to take care of them, do the
Yes,
dressing and stuff. That if we can
yes.
get kids to do, and have the dogs at the school shelter, so that the dogs can be at the school shelter, we can sterilize them, kids take care of them, 10 days later we leave them out. And again, we want to train our kids for that as well. We have kids who are interested in the veterinary field. So those kids, we want to train them for sterilization as well, so that, they can be doctors, and then they can help their own community. Like, there's a demand for that. Like in our community in Pamohi, there's like a demand for a vet. So if we can get one of our students trained to do that, then they can help the community. And at the same time, that extends to the other animals in the area.
Okay. So I lied. I have one more question.
Yes.
So your kids, what all they learn about animal women in your program so far? That you can say that they can rescue, or what all they can do right now related to animal.
So, well, not much, I guess. They can get the puppies from the streets. Like, they can pick them up, do their basic dressing. We've taught them basic dressing, put betadine, clean the wound, do the dressing, put the bandage on, and then keep changing that, check on that regularly, give medicines to them, feed them. So they have been just doing the basic things. We tried to get them a training from Just Be Friendly. I think they had come over and they tried to do like a training with the students to catch the dogs. but that did not go that great because kids got scared when the dog got caught in the net, So then we decided that maybe leave that to adults for now. For now, they can just take care of the dogs. But again, if you're doing sterilization, the problem that we face now is that where do you keep the dog? If you keep the dog at the hospital, then you have to pay a lot of money, So if we have kids doing that, then kids learn, and at the same time, it can be done really cheaply. So that's what our main goal, like in this animal shelter part, is to, sterilize dogs. Like we really want to do that. And that is possible if we have an army of students who are actually out there helping animals and taking care of them in the sterilization period so that we can actually make that a reality.
Okay.
Great job.
Thank you so much, Melinda, for asking these questions. Do we have anyone else who wants to ask?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, please go on, please.
Okay, so one of the common problems that we see in animal shelters is overcrowding, and Indian people are obsessed with foreign breeds.
No kidding, yeah.
They don't own the Indian, they don't show their love to animals who are easily available, who are around us. So what is the best way, to tell, to kind of get them adopted into good families?
So that's what we are struggling with, honestly. That's our main issue, to get them adopted in good families. But here's the thing, like at our school, all of us have Indie dogs. My teachers have Indian dogs. I have 2 Indian dogs at home. So our kids, they treat the Indian dogs differently. They treat them not like garbage. So I think we have to change people's mindset, and that you can do that with young children. Like even the rich people, middle class, upper class people, they are only obsessed with breed dogs. So, but if we can get the kids, to change their mindset, then maybe we can, bring about change. And secondly, this breeding has to stop. Like seriously, we need to really protest against that. Like the breeding of dogs have to stop. In Bangalore, apparently they have passed a rule that breeding is not allowed. So maybe we can petition for that, make that a reality in Guwahati, so that then we can work on the next challenge of getting dogs adopted. But as long as there are breed dogs out there, that they're selling in shops, it's going to be hard to convince people. Like our people, they need to change their mindset, which is going to be difficult, because honestly, you must have seen how poor people are treated, right? Like in the community, like sometimes they're treated worse than animals, like seriously, and we have seen that ourselves. So when you're treating your fellow human beings like that, then how do you expect them to treat animals any better?
Exactly. Thank you.
So we have to change. Yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? No, I guess. I believe you have a time constraint too. So
yes, I do have a next appointment, but that's it. Sorry.
Okay.
But
so
if others do not have question, I have question though.
Please.
So,
okay.
So, Paramita, as an animal activist point of view, you are what all you would like to see in Guwahati, related to animal. Yeah.
Well, first of all, we need to do sterilization. Like I cannot stress on this enough, like we have to control the population to do anything, because we can't just let them keep breeding, and it becomes really hard to. So if we can just get started with the sterilization, we can maybe take responsibilities for our own areas and do that. There are so many animal organizations working for animal welfare. So if we can just start with that, I think everything else will fall in track. After that, even when we have puppies, we can get them everything else can be taken care of. Feeding can be taken care of. Like we'll find community feeders. But once we can control the population, we can do so many more things. So, so if we can find some way to sterilize the animals, like there would be nothing like it. And it is a painful process for them too. Like our school dog, she had a really difficult pregnancy. Like we were worried that she was going to die. And then she became so thin after the pregnancy. Like it was a really bad 3 months for us also. So, so they also go through a lot of trauma in the process. And if you're like on the street, then it's just a nightmare. So, yeah, so sterilization, if we can somehow find a way to do that, we can figure out how to feed them and build shelters and everything, everything will come in place. And here's the thing, our students, we are also training our students to build shelter for dogs. So they have built only like 2 shelters at our school. They are doing in the carpentry class, but that is also something that our students can do. So once we have the population in control, maybe we can set up like houses for stray animals everywhere. Our students can do that, which will also give them employment, which will make them stay in school. At the same time, we can provide shelter for the stray animals. So, we are trying to have like an idea where we can involve everyone and get things done like we wanted. Sterilization, again, I'm coming back to that. Like sterilization would be great if we can work on that somehow.
Would you please share more about the school that you are saying that who is providing you a shelter? Is it in
Yes.
Mumbai or where in
No, it
Delhi?
is in Madhya Pradesh in Gwalior. It's a
Okay, okay.
government school in Gwalior, and they have like a really big, nice campus. So we have been told that we can build a shelter in the campus. So what we will start with is we will maybe start with like about 10 puppies or any injured dog, like depending on what the situation is, maybe just 10, and then teach the students and then, go along from there. And if they like it, they will let us have an animal shelter. So we're looking at 2 schools in Gwalior now, but if they like the program, they will extend it to 100 schools and then to 1,800 schools. So if our program runs well, we will have 1,800 schools attached, animal shelters attached to that. So that should have some impact, and that should take care of sterilization as well, hopefully. So that's what we are hoping to be able to do.
Okay. Okay.
And the
That's
government
great
school
to
is
know.
changing. I mean, the education policies are changing, right? So I'm hopeful that, maybe we'll actually be able to, like every government school will have an animal shelter. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like seriously, like we'll have
Yeah,
kids taking care of them, any injured animal, you call up a kid, the kids come, they help her out. Like it'll be great if we can make that happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
first do it there, then come back in Assam, because I'm sad that you are doing in
I know
Madhya
if
Pradesh,
we
not in
can get an
Assam.
opportunity in Assam now, we're ready to
Yes.
start like tomorrow, seriously. Like
Okay, let's do it together.
really want an opportunity in Assam. That's what we have
Yes.
been trying to, but our
Sure.
government here is not open to that yet, whereas those governments are inviting us. So because they are inviting us, we have a lot of less obstacles on the way, because they want us there. So, but yeah, no, definitely in Assam, if we get an opportunity anywhere in Assam, we would be like more than happy to do that for sure. I mean, that's what we want to do. That's really our aim to do that.
Okay. Have you connect with Biz Om from Delhi?
Sorry?
There's an organization called Biz Om in Delhi,
No,
where
no.
they have started an animal shelter at the reclaim area. She's a lawyer, and also have all kind of stuff like farmers market, and
Oh,
then
nice.
everything. And they no, they do not use any animal, like they do not use the milk, or nor they use the egg, but they use cow dung, and from the cow dung they make different kind of products. They sell those products. It's very interesting because they are enough money, because they are also having nice farm over there, along with the animal. Okay, and they basically
That's
use
nice.
the cow dung in all kind of what do you call products, and those are they selling.
No, I'll
So that will
definitely
be
look that up. That's great. That's what we are also trying to do. We also have a farming is also going on at our school as well. We are cultivating like vegetables, and we are also doing landscaping at our school. So we are hoping to build like a mini golf course, which we couldn't continue with that because of the COVID thing. But we are hoping to build like a mini golf course there where people can come and pay money, because our kids need to earn money, like a registration fee or something, and then they can play there. And at the same time, we want to attach our animal shelter to that as well. So when people come to the golf course, they see those adorable puppies, and maybe someone will have the heart to adopt them. So we are hoping to do that as well, and sell our own products. I will have a restaurant where we will be selling products that our students cook from the produce that we produce at the school. So I'll definitely look that up. That sounds really interesting.
so two
So
organizations that we liked it. Sorry, one is people. His name
People
is
farm.
Robin Singh. Yeah, People Farm from Himachal Pradesh. You can
okay,
look it up. And Bees Home from Delhi. All right.
B zone, right?
And Bees, yeah, Bees Home. We can send it you. I
Yes.
can send the information later on. And then locally, I think your organization should connect with Spread Any. That's nothing to do with animal, but it's about green commandos.
Okay.
And
No,
so
definitely. Sounds great.
they also believe in the same thing as you guys do. Also create entrepreneurship, teach stuff so that they can productive. So
Great.
sorry, go ahead. Somebody
No,
else
that
has
sounds
question.
great. That's really helpful information. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, are there any questions, Belinda?
Yes, somebody wanted to ask something. Sorry.
No, it's a message from Manjil Das for you, Parmita. He wrote, "Hi Parmita, it's nice to know that you are teaching kids how to treat fellow beings better by trying with purpose, learning to love."
Thank you. Still an effort, and all of us can do that. Like, we'll be actually grateful if all of you people come to our school and then show how to behave with animals. So we are actually tying up with Northeast United. We are still in the talks, but they are interested in sponsoring our football program. And John Abraham is really into puppies and stray animals. So we are hoping that we can do something big with them, since they happen to be interested in this, and maybe get more people involved in this. So fingers crossed.
Okay, so like Parmita Ba, you are saying that all with this golf course and restaurants, all these things, you want to, this is something done with by your students, which you want to develop into kind of like a business, so you can
Yes,
help the students for earning the money and all, and
exactly.
also with the animals. So you see, HSI sometimes they host webinars where like entrepreneurs there, they are actually using like vegan, they are like selling vegan products. Some of the entrepreneurs are already very high up there, so they are like kind of telling the ones who are in the webinar their own experiences and how to you can like climb the ladder, and use your resources well. They are like teaching those things there, so like experience their experiences and their ideas, sharing their ideas. So maybe if you can attend those webinars, then you can
Definitely.
maybe get some ideas there.
Well, that's a great idea. Thank you. If you can just send me how to do
Yeah,
that,
I
I'll
will
definitely like.
send, I can do something. I can like maybe send you the webinar flyer whenever it's held,
Please
if
do
I
that.
can
That
get
will
your
be
number.
helpful. I will send it in this group. Let me see. Yeah, I'm sending my phone number. Yeah, please do that. That will be helpful. And if you have anything for our students to attend to, because our kids are doing business studies at school, and we are hoping to connect that to the practical experience. So
Yes,
if you
yes,
have
yes.
anything for our students as well, that will be great. They can also attend to that.
Yeah, of course. I will look up for if there is anything like that.
That will be great. Thank you.
All right, we just have time for one more question. So, are there anyone?
Paramita, we were studying. I have our this intern with me, and they are there. I hope that they will speak up. Aisa, I hope that you will speak up. So we were studying the animal shelter at Minneapolis. All right. So in that they have various services. The drawing is one of them. They have various services related to kids. All right, and generally volunteers uh, they take this teaches this program, and they charges for that. For example, the drawing, right, telling stories, and I forgot what all. They have quite a few program where it is like a money earning for the organization, and
Okay.
volunteers are doing that. In your case, it could be the students, right, and they can earn some money.
That's a great.
um, so uh, Aisha, would you please speak up? Would you give the hello?
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
she's
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
here.
Please, yeah. Could
Okay.
you please
So,
yeah?
see, they do a lot of virtual education, and also they have got private training sessions, like, train my dog. And then they've got these sessions like paint, paint your pet, and junior dog trainer. So they kind of engage the students in the community to be
It's a
more compassionate to animals through fun activities. So through this process, even the organization earns some money, and also it is kind of really, they engage the community. So that is how they work. So yeah, we were working on that, and we were thinking how to kind of incorporate this in shelters and maybe.
Now, that's really great. Now we would love to do that. We also thought that we were also hoping, to get to train the stray animals or train the street animals, and like there are a lot of people who live alone, right? So maybe what if we can train the dogs to give them company, and like they train dogs for blind people and deaf people. So if we can develop like a program for that as well and have trainers, that would be awesome. Please do send me a link about that. Maybe we can get our kids to be, they can learn how to be trainers and the different activities that they do, because maybe people will pay money. That would be awesome, because we need to like generate revenue for the kids. So it's like a perfect model to fit into our school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. So I have this one last question I was trying to ask. Uh, all right. So what advice or suggestion will you give to someone who is trying to educate kids or someone to be more compassionate towards stray animals?
Um, well, I think we need to be kind to everyone, and that is what our society is missing. We are only good to people at our level. Anyone who's
Hmm.
beneath you, we don't treat them well. So I think if we just start by being non-judgmental and be kind to each other, that'll have a ripple effect, and
Hmm.
that'll maybe change the world. Like that's what we are trying to teach our kids, that just be a little less judgmental, just be kind to everyone. That'll make like all the difference for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Would love to have you, on a different topic about education on a different webinar. So thank you so much for joining us, Parmita. We hope
Thank you
that
so much
you
for
keep
having me.
progressing in this journey. And
Yes,
thank you,
someone
everyone.
uh,
Yes,
actually
yes.
someone said something here in the chats. I'm not sure about this, but you can try with Faculty High Secondary School, not Guwahati. They have local dogs at the gates and they have a dog shelter too, but no residents. They are
Okay,
saying this.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe you can try something.
sure. No, I'll try to see if we
You
can
can
connect.
check it out if it's true or not, and maybe try
And
to do
please,
something.
all of you animal lovers, if you just visit our school once and just talk to the kids, that'll give them the motivation and the encouragement to keep going. Because now it's just us, like that teachers who's telling them about this. So it'll be really good to have you people come to our school and show or share your experiences, because they learn so much more, and that'll open them up to the world as well.
Definitely,
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
definitely would love to do that. And you're doing great job.
Thank you.
I hope that we can work together and write a application petition to the government. I mean, Assam government, and let's see what happens, right?
Yes, fingers crossed.
And we also need your help because we are trying to
Thank you.
have yeah, before you go, we are trying for a process for dead animal,
Okay.
because GMC is supposed to have it in 2017. It came in
Yeah,
newspaper, but nothing happened.
nothing has happened.
So we have to work together so that we
Of
have a
course.
process for dog cremation or pets cremation, right? And as you go to MP, and maybe you will learn more things for there regarding animal, what the government is doing, maybe, which we can share knowledge and maybe
Of
do
course.
something together.
Yes, no, that sounds great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
joining us today. Thank
Thank
you,
you for
everyone.
having
All
me.
right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your participation. We'll see you next week on Friday. Bye bye.